Wow. If a picture could tell 1,000 words, guys, this story is going to be crazy, like that woman's hair. And this story is about a woman out of none other than Chicago. How many of you guys are surprised? I could do news about Chicago every day and every night as if I was not Keith Sweat. God, I messed up the joke. Anyway, I'll be sure I messed up the joke. But anyway, this individual who looks like a troll doll was dunked in water and turned upside down and just shook her out. She looks absolutely ridiculous with that stupid look on her face. This is a mother, if you can even call her that. And just recently, she found out that she is not going to get a bond after she was charged with the stabbing death of that beautiful baby girl that y'all see on my screen right there. That is a beautiful baby girl, and I cannot understand what that little girl could have done to this mother to deserve what she got. This baby girl cannot speak for herself nor defend herself against the tyranny of her mom. And we call that babies for benefits. Excuse me. I got to get through some of these coughs. I haven't been live in a while. But the reason why we call it babies for benefits is because it seems like these type of parents who have custody of these kids don't have them for any other reason except for the things and the benefits that they can collect from these kids, whether it be food stamps, whether it be housing, whether it be control over a man by way of child support. They're always using these kids, and you can clearly tell that they don't love these kids. And that's actually a picture of her right there too. Wow, that's a night and day difference. Look like Beauty and the Beast. My goodness. Anyway, that woman has been ordered to be held without bond after she was charged with first-degree murder in the stabbing death of her 5-year-old daughter on Chicago's West Side. So if you guys are not familiar with first-degree murder, I'm going to tell you, any state that charges you with first-degree murder is not taking it lightly. And if they get you with first-degree just on the charges, there's a good chance that you're probably going to go to jail for life. Okay? Now, that individual that you see right there is named Simone Austin, 27 years old. Why she looked like she's about 47 years old. She was charged with first-degree murder in the death of her daughter, that beautiful baby right there by the name of Serenity Arrington, 5 years old. And I look at that baby's face and I look into her eyes and I'm like, what could this baby have done to this mom? She didn't deserve whatever she got, not at all. To meet her demise in such a jacked up way is just absolutely inexcusable. So I don't want to hear people talking about, well, she had mental issues, well, she had this and she was going through that. If that's the case, then they shouldn't be parents at all. Matter of fact, they probably shouldn't have reproductive organs. Huh? Hashtag TTO. Yeah, I'm just saying, if they're that damn crazy, then they should not have the right to be parents. Because all it does is put these children at risk, okay? Now, a judge denied her bail at a bond hearing on Monday. Now, detectives and prosecutors said Austin cut, and I'm going to warn you, it's very graphic and straight to the point. That mother cut Serenity's throat in front of her 8-year-old sister using a serrated knife. She did this in front of one of her other kids. At Austin's bond hearing, prosecutors said Serenity's mother had asked the older girl to leave the room, and she watched through a hole in the doorknob as Austin, the mother, pulled the knife out from under a pillow and cut that 5-year-old girl's neck. The sister screamed and then saw Austin stabbing that 5-year-old girl. Those are the sisters. I got their faces blurred out. But that's a picture of all of those beautiful babies together. The sister screamed and then saw the mom stabbing that 5-year-old girl. Prosecutors say that the sister tried to pull the mom off of Serenity by her hair. I'm going to say that again. The 8-year-old daughter saw what the mom did and physically tried to stop her mom by grabbing her hair and pulling her to stop her from killing her baby sister. Her grandfather, who was also living in the same exact apartment, had gone out to get coffee at the time and came back to find that the front door was locked. When he went into the kitchen door in the back, the daughter told him her mommy killed her little sister. Keep that child in your thoughts and prayers, because this will obviously be with her for the rest of her life, said Chicago Police Chief Detective Brendan Dennehy. Prosecutors said that the grandfather saw the mother, Austin, undressing when he got inside the apartment and immediately went out on the porch as the older sister ran outside yelling that her mom had killed her sister. That's when the mother, Austin, brought the 5-year-old girl Serenity outside and laid her down on the grass. Neighbors saw her bleeding profusely from a gash in her throat and heard the mother apologizing, saying she shouldn't have done this, prosecutors said. Hashtag not my words. She said she shouldn't have done this. That stupid ass person right there. With that sad ass look on her face. She wants y'all to feel sorry for her. How many of you guys that are listening to this story right now feel sorry for this mom? Because I'm going to tell you, it's got to be somebody out there that feels sorry for this mom. Because every time I do these stories, there's always somebody who is in my comment section who emails me and tries to tell me that I was wrong for talking crap about those criminals and disparaging how they look and their physical appearance. There's always somebody in my email that is telling me that I'm wrong for talking crazy about the criminals. All the while, I always point out to them this very first thing. In their email, they didn't mention anything about the kids that were involved and the kids that died in those stories and were murdered by those same exact people that they're telling me not to talk crazy about. How many of y'all feel sorry for her? Where is the protest for this little girl? Why is there no national outrage for this little girl? Let me give a shout out. Hey, what's up, Mom's Fur Baby? Says sooner or later, this has to stop. This is just so much more than crazy, mean, and evil. And I 100% agree. Thank you for saying that. At what point is this going to stop? At what point is this going to stop? And you know what? We have so many options for these mothers, these fathers, these step parents. If you don't want to be parents, you don't have to be a parent. Nobody's forcing anybody to be a parent. Matter of fact, as men and as women, as Americans, as adults, nobody is forcing us to have sex. Nobody is forcing us to procreate. Why are we doing this to children? Why are we dragging innocent children into these situations? Why did we drag this little girl into this situation that she didn't want to be in, knowing the fact that she lives in Chicago, where there's already a high level of violence? there is a high propensity that those kids and the mom and the grandfather could have been shot randomly just living in Chicago. Let alone that the mom felt that she wanted to take her frustration and her anger out on that beautiful baby girl. And why? There is no excuse for it. And I don't ever want to hear an excuse for it. She took this dead baby's body out and laid her in the grass. So, of course, somebody called 911 and paramedics rushed that 5-year-old girl to Stroger Hospital of Cook County, where she was later pronounced dead from multiple stab wounds. Prosecutors said that one of the wounds to her throat went almost completely through the back of her neck. That's not remorse. That is hate. That is not a moment of insanity. That is evil. And evil should be punished. Evil should be purged from this world. It should be purged from our society and our neighborhoods. The knife went completely through the back of this little girl's neck. Because they people are already jacked up and they don't want to are already jacked up and then they don't even think past having sex without protection and then think about the benefits and then decide to keep the baby. Damn, isn't that something? You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Shout out to my guy Self Savior, and I wanted to thank you also for your last donation. I didn't get a chance to thank you a couple shows ago, but thank you, bro. I did get it, but thank you so much for that. And if you guys are watching, I didn't know how many people we had watching. So if we got 600 people, we should easily be able to get 400 thumbs up. Please share the memory of this baby, and let's continue to share this story. And all you guys got to do is just click that thumbs up. But I don't want to keep reminding you guys to do that. Just make sure you do that, okay? Now, let's keep going. The Illinois Department of Children and Family Services, DCFS, has been called to this home in the past, but the details were not immediately released. I'm going to read that again. The Illinois DCFS Department of Children and Family Services has been to this home before, but they didn't give us any details. We've had previous calls there for domestic violence where the mother was the victim of domestic violence and other people in the family called, Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown said on Monday. Superintendent Brown said Chicago Police will send us more information about domestic violence related calls, but as of late Monday, they have not received the information that they requested. Now, prosecutors said that Serenity's older sister told investigators about a previous incident when she was walking around with a knife because the little girls had spilled some eggs on the porch. Can we get a hashtag, when you date thugs, you date death? Anybody want to post that in the chat? And I'm going to tell you why I want you guys to post that in the chat. Here's why. The mom wants us to feel bad talking about that she suffered some domestic violence. Well, here's the thing. If the dude was being violent towards you, knowing the fact that he lives in Chicago, and just knowing the fact that a lot of those thugs in Chicago do a lot of wild shit, not only to their women, but to each other, then one would have to assume that this mother probably had all three of those kids by some thugs or thugs, which is why they were being violent towards her. Excuse me, I'm going to get through these coughs here in a moment. I'm sorry about that. Now, I'm going to read this part again. The older sister told investigators about a previous incident when the mother was walking around with a knife because the little girls had spilled some eggs on the porch. So if this were a previous incident, while we're talking about DCFS, and this is documented, this is on record, then this is now another baby, another life, more blood that is on the hands of Children and Family Services for failing another child. Because if they told you this and you guys didn't take this threat seriously, well, it looks like the mom finally did what it was that she wanted to do anyway. She soaked up all the benefits that she could get out of this kid and decided to try to end this baby's life. Over eggs. Are you kidding me? Over eggs. Everybody wants to know why she stabbed this little girl. Can y'all post in the chat? It was over eggs. If anybody asks, why did the mom stab this kid? Say it was over eggs. Yes, eggs. Okay, thank you, Mom. I just got that. I just got your message. Thank you, Mom. I'll check it here in just a moment. Excuse me. I'm going to get my throat together here. Sorry, y'all. Y'all asked, where's the father? Well, in Chicago, knowing the fact that this mom probably had her kids by some thugs, there's a good chance that either A, he's in jail, B, he's in the streets, or C, he's in jail. Either way it goes, whoever she had kids by probably ain't shit. I just don't tend to expect very much of these nasty ass parents who do this type of stupid ass shit. I just don't have very high expectations. I'm sorry. I know it's not all, hashtag not all. It's not all people in Chicago. It's not all women. It's not all single mothers. It's not all the men out there that are thugs. But it's too freaking many. It's way too many. Now let's keep going with this story. Let's keep going. It's just sad. Just out of nowhere, it said neighbor Jose Behar. I just saw her yesterday, and today in the morning, she's gone. The mother does not have a prior criminal background, officials said, and her defense attorney said that she dropped out of high school and her parents were living on the street. She worked at Walmart until May of 2020, where she stocked shelves. There is no indication that she has ever harmed her children before. Neighbors said that they saw Serenity just the other day, and now they can't believe she's gone. They described her as a happy baby and a friendly baby. It's not clear what led to the stabbing, but I just told you guys, over eggs, over some eggs. Or you can post over some damn eggs, whatever you want to post. It was over eggs. It was not clear what led up to the stabbing, but Austin walked up to officers and was taken into custody at the scene. Detectives earlier said that they were investigating to see if Austin had a history of mental illness. Detectives are looking into that, so they're touching base with that and DCFS and everything else, said News Affair Officer Jose Jera. Austin invoked her right to remain silent once police arrived, so specific explanations about a motive have not been released. Meanwhile, a representative of the Maryville Crisis Nursery spoke alongside police Monday to talk about a free short-term care for parents in distress and experiencing a crisis. The Maryville representative talked about how since reopening to phase 3 amid the coronavirus pandemic in the city, their crisis nursery has seen an increase in the number of calls. The crisis nursery is urging parents who are feeling stressed to get help with what they need help with. Now, the mother's next court hearing is set for October the 19th, which is coming up. Let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage. We're going to talk about that screenshot here in a moment. Y'all can read that. That's from the mom's Facebook page. On May the 7th, that says, "I'm bad," with the devil emoji face. We'll get back to that here in a moment. Let's give you guys the fair usage. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Good morning. Now, we're hearing from family that this actually took place in a relative's home, and police have released this mugshot. Take a look. This is the suspect. Police told us 27-year-old Simone Austin was placed in handcuffs around 9:30 Saturday morning. Police said Austin stabbed her 5-year-old daughter, Serenity Arrington, in the throat. It happened inside the little girl's grandfather's home on the 3200 block of West Fulton Boulevard. Police told us they arrived on the scene and found the child stabbed multiple times. The child was taken to a local hospital where she was pronounced deceased. Now, Simone Austin was charged with first-degree murder with no specifics as to why the stabbing happened. Police said they were familiar with the home where the crime took place. Here's what police had to say about their investigation so far.
There were prior calls to the address. We just don't know at this time what happened today, but there were multiple calls in the past.
Oh, beautiful. Like all the other grandkids out here are beautiful. Love school, love looking at movies with her granddaddy.
Now, Simone Austin is still in police custody. Her bond hearing is set for later this morning, and of course we'll keep you up to date when we receive those details of what happened inside the courtroom. But for now, we're live outside of Cook County Courthouse. I'm Glenn Marshall, WGN News.
To a developing story at this hour, gruesome new details out.
Let me say something real quick. Mom, you're still in the building. Said I sent you a small super chat also. They need to give people a mental status test before allowing parents to take the baby home. I 100% agree with that. Totally agree with you. And thank you for saying that. Because I've been saying for a little while here, and I know there's people have been saying it before me, like Tommy and other people that I've listened to, but there have been a lot of people that I've heard, as well as me, and I totally agree, that these people should be required to have a license to even have kids. How about that? Thank you, Sari Stringfield said, "I'm new to the channel." Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. How many people are actually new to the channel? Have you guys already subscribed? And if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. Support our mission. Support what we're trying to do here. Sorry about the coughing. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to get over here in a minute. But yeah, the mom does not get a bond, nor does she need one. But let me give a special shout out to Mom's Fur Babies, who said, for the love and hard work that you do for these babies. And let's just say that Mom's Fur Babies sent in a very, very significant amount of money. And I don't want to say how much, because like I say, it's not everybody's business to know how mom supports what we do here. But I just want to say thank you so much. Hey, what's going on? Shout out to Bugetto. Also in the building, thank you so much for being here. I know exactly who that is. So thank you for being here. That is one of our sponsors. So thank you very much. And you have a moderator wrench now. But thank you, Mom's Fur Babies. Big time. I cannot thank you enough. But let's keep going.
To a developing story at this hour, gruesome new details outlined in court today in the case against a mother who's accused of stabbing her 5-year-old daughter to death.
WGN's Jenna Barnes is here with an update. Jenna, you're getting some late-breaking details on this.
Yeah, DCFS confirms they've had prior contact with this family in the past, but a representative isn't telling us when or how many times. We've also learned this wasn't the first time police were called to the home.
After a bond hearing Monday, Simone Austin will stay in jail without bail, accused of stabbing to death her 5-year-old daughter, Serenity Arrington.
The murder of a child at the hands of their parent, it's too much to contemplate.
Prosecutors say Saturday morning, the mom asked her 8-year-old to leave the room, and the little girl watched through a hole in the doorknob as her mom grabbed a serrated knife from under a pillow and stabbed Serenity.
This young baby was her throat was cut.
The documents say the 8-year-old tried to help and later ran out of the house yelling that her mommy killed her little sister. In an interview, the 8-year-old told investigators her mom had previously scared her and her sister, walking around with a knife because they spilled eggs on the porch.
Keep that child in your thoughts and prayers because obviously this is be extremely difficult for the rest of her life.
When the fire department arrived Saturday, police say Austin was laying on the ground with Serenity's body. According to the court documents, Austin apologized and said she shouldn't have done this.
The officers who responded to the scene will forever be haunted by what they saw.
Officers have been to the home before, the superintendent says, for domestic violence in which Austin was the victim. Now we know DCFS had contact with the family too, but when and why are two questions still unanswered.
We pray and grieve for this precious child.
Superintendent Brown says because of this case, he's ordering additional domestic violence training for officers, hoping to prevent this from happening to another family.
Understandably so. Thank you, Jenna.
We begin this hour 18 with a lot of questions about the violent death of a 5-year-old girl. Police.
Sorry, y'all cannot hear me. Sorry about that. Mom's Fur Baby said they must start setting some parameters on these people having babies, be it a license, a background check, or etc. Also, if the parents are not employed, then they should not be able to have the baby. Woo! Let me say that again. Thank you, Mom. Also, if the parents are not employed, then they should not be able to have that baby. Damn, I gotta say that again. That is awesome. No, I'm not getting sick. I'm sorry about that. I'm not getting sick. It's just my throat is scratchy. I'm actually good, though. I'm not sick at all. No headaches, no nothing. I'm actually okay. So if y'all would, click that thumbs up. We want to try to get 1,000 thumbs up. That'd be awesome. But like I say, our goal is always a small goal. So everybody just click that thumbs up. But let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Tell us her own mother stabbed her, and her 8-year-old sister watched, even tried to stop the attack.
Questions: why would a mother do this? She's not talking, police say. And could the little girl's death have been prevented? We have team coverage. Let's begin with CBS 2's Megan Hickey. Megan, you've learned DCFS has had contact with the family before.
Right, Brad and Erica, DCFS confirmed they had prior contact with this family, but would not give us any specifics beyond that. We also know that the mother, Simone Austin, had prior contact with police as a victim of domestic violence.
And do we have a condition on that baby?
Critical.
Police say they found 5-year-old Serenity Arrington lying here along the sidewalk in front of her East Garfield Park home, bleeding from the neck.
The offender is still going to be on site. Child is kicked in the neck. Fire's rolling.
Today, prosecutors said the girl's 27-year-old mother, Simone Austin, was inside the home Saturday morning with Serenity and her 8-year-old sister. She told the sister to leave the room, pulled out a knife from underneath a pillow, and stabbed Serenity repeatedly in the neck as her sister watched from the keyhole in the door. Prosecutors said she then laid Serenity out in front of the house, and when police and fire personnel arrived, she told them she did it and that she was sorry. The 8-year-old was screaming that her mommy killed her little sister, too.
Keep that child in your thoughts and prayers because obviously this is be extremely difficult for the rest of her life.
The 8-year-old also told detectives about a previous incident where her mom was walking around with a knife because the little girls had spilled some eggs on the porch. Austin is now charged with first-degree murder. She has no criminal background. We wanted to know, were there red flags? Could this family have gotten help?
We've had previous calls there for domestic violence where the mother was the victim of domestic violence and other people in the family have called.
Today, Superintendent Brown said CPD would send us more information about the domestic violence-related calls, but so far we haven't received the information we requested. Now, Austin invoked her right to remain silent once police arrived on the scene, so we still don't have any information on motive tonight. That next hearing for her is scheduled for October 19th. Brad?
Megan, today a representative from the Maryville Crisis Nursery spoke alongside police to talk about free short-term care for parents in distress and experiencing a crisis.
Right, so a representative from Maryville came out today. She actually said that they've seen a surge in calls since the city entered phase 3 of the reopening plan for the crisis nursery. She came out urging parents who are feeling stressed to get the help that they need. Live at Chicago Police Headquarters, Megan Hickey, CBS 2 Investigators.
All right, thank you, Megan.
Developing tonight, a mother is charged in the stabbing death of her 5-year-old daughter. Chicago police arrested 27-year-old Simone Austin. She's accused of stabbing Serenity Harrington yesterday morning here near Fulton and Kedzie in the East Garfield Park neighborhood. Officers arrived at the scene and found the child with multiple stab wounds. She died at Stroger Hospital.
After police say they fatally stabbed a 5-year-old girl. The attack happened this morning in East Garfield Park. Michelle Fiore spoke with neighbors about the murder.
Hey, good evening, Natalie. This is a community grieving tonight. They say the family moved in just this summer, but already in this short amount of time, that little girl made a big impression.
This comfortable fall day, neighbors expected to see 5-year-old Serenity Harrington playing with her older sister.
We had met them about a month ago because they had just moved in and they were living, right across the alley from me, as I said.
The sisters would often ride bikes, but their presence on the 3200 block of West Fulton is now absent.
I had a kitten, or a cat, and they liked animals. They would visit with my dog, and they brought their cat to meet my wife, who's a cat person.
Just after 9 a.m., 911 calls began pouring in.
Multiple calls came in, so I know one of the calls that come in from the house. From inside the house, from an older gentleman who was in the house as well.
The 5-year-old had been repeatedly stabbed. She later died at Stroger Hospital. Police say when they got on scene, they arrested a woman standing outside who appeared to be waiting for them. Neighbors say that's the child's mom. Friends say this is out of character for the woman who's 27 years old.
As long as I've been knowing her, she never seemed that way to me.
Keith Smith says he's in shock.
When it happened, and it's somebody that you personally know, that hit deep.
Police are now working with DCFS and trying to determine if the woman in custody has mental health issues.
There were prior calls to the address. We just don't know at this time what happened.
Yes, for the people who are posting in the chat, this was over eggs. Over eggs.
Today, but there were multiple calls in the past.
And neighbors say publicly the 27-year-old woman appeared to be a good mom. She would often sit outside while her girls played. The woman is in custody now with charges pending.
Okay, I got a little bit to say before we close this particular video out and before we go to story number 2. Let me say this real quick. I want you guys to also notice how neighbors and other people would still come out and say, even after they heard what this woman did, even after some of them saw the aftermath of what she did to this little girl, even after that, they still came out and said that this woman was usually a good mother. Y'all hear this? They still come out and defend her and say that she's usually a good mother. And that to me is one of the main problems, is that we don't hold people accountable for doing wrong and hurting these kids. Everybody's number one focus should have been this kid. Screw this mom at this point. If they say, hey, she stabbed this kid, this little kid had a knife that went all the way through the back of her neck, and the mom did it, and they have proof, they have evidence, then we got to roll with that and say, you know what? We're not going to even talk about the mom anymore. We're just going to put all of our focus on this baby. Why they continue to go back and deflect and talk about how what she used to do, she shoulda, coulda, woulda, and all that bull crap, and disrespecting the memory of this little girl, the name of this little girl. And I want to put some respect on this baby's name. Again, this is baby Serenity Arrington, who was 5 years old. She cannot speak for herself, nor can she defend herself. But what's even crazier is if her 8-year-old sister were a little bit older and a little bit stronger, her older sister was going to fight to save her life from her own mom. And I really wish that something would have made it to where, I don't know, that would have prevented this. This woman right here clearly wanted this baby to die. She's an evil person. She's a horrible mother. She's never been a good mother for having these kids for only the benefits that she could collect from these kids. And continue to keep putting these kids in poverty and bad situations. As a matter of fact, let me show you guys this screenshot one more time, just to let y'all know that this person that y'all see right here, who looks like a freaking chocolate troll doll, yes. Let me show y'all something. I call her evil, and she calls herself evil. Look at this screenshot right here. So for people who saying that I don't have my information right, well, what about the fact that when these evil ass, stupid ass, demonized creatures, when these demons call themselves bad, then how are you going to dispute that? How are you going to tell me that I'm wrong for how I describe them? Right? On May the 7th, that mother wrote on her own page and said, "I'm bad," with that devil emoji. And matter of fact, shout out to the person in the chat, or not in the chat, but in the comment section right there. And Jennifer said, "You are going straight to hell. God doesn't like murderers. Rest in heaven to that beautiful little soul." And I'll tell you guys this. That mother doesn't need jail. She doesn't need reform. She doesn't need counseling. She has an appointment with the devil, with the real Satan. She don't need jail. She needs hell. Don't send her to jail. Send her to hell. That's our hashtag here at the AFC. That's what I believe will get ultimate victory for this little girl. And I also want to put a prayer hands up in the chat. And I'm thankful that she didn't harm the other babies. I'm thankful that they'll at least get an opportunity to grow up and become something great. But I also want to give a special love shout out to the 8-year-old girl who tried to grab her mom by the hair and pull this mom off of killing the 5-year-old little girl. As you can see, it looked like she tried to pull all her hair out of her head, which is why she looked like that. But that little 8-year-old girl is going to be traumatized forever. But I want to give her a huge love shout out. And I'm thankful that her heart was in the right place, but she was a baby. It wasn't her place to be able to try to defend her baby sister, but she did all she could because she loved her sisters, and those babies loved each other, and they all deserve to grow up and become something great. So I want to say, you know, rest in heaven, young princess, 5-year-old Serenity Arrington. Rest in heaven, young princess. Guys, we have a second story, and I want to change paces. I hope you guys do not mind if you're listening to the sound of my voice. What we're going to do is we're going to segue into our second story, and I want to actually talk about another negative story, but it also has a lot of positivity in it. And I don't know if you guys heard about this story of the father who actually shielded his kids from being shot inside of a car dealership. How many of you guys heard about this story? Because if you haven't, we are going to talk about the hero dad. A lot of people are calling this man a hero. I think he's just a dad. And I think any responsible, loving dad would have did the same thing, and we're not out here looking for kudos. And I don't think that this father is out here looking for kudos either. And that's the beautiful thing about this particular story, is that he's just like, hey, that's my job, protect my kids with my life. And you guys have actually watched, like when I did that story about that mother in Chicago, not in Chicago, but in California, who allowed her twin 15-year-old girls to get shot, and she didn't go in there and try to defend those little girls from the tyranny of her ex-boyfriend. Well, in a situation like this, you don't see this father take off and run and leave his boys sitting there on the couch. He actually dove on top of his kids and shielded them from incoming gunfire. And that's going to be the narrative of this particular story. So let me get this one up here. Ladies and gentlemen, this particular story comes out of New York City. And it actually, to be honest with you, it sounded literally like this was coming out of Chicago. Like, this sounds like a Chicago story. And I'm sorry to just throw that on Chicago, but they know they be on some wild stuff out there, right? But this particular father and his kids were involved in a heinous event where there was somebody else inside of a car dealership that I guess was trying to make a transaction, trying to get a car. And the ops showed up and tried to kill that dude. All the while, they're just spraying bullets and shooting everywhere inside this dealership. And by the way, we do have footage, so if you guys do not want to see that footage, I understand. This is not a news station. I'm here to give commentary, okay? So if y'all are not here to hear that, then I get it. I understand. But we're going to show you guys some edited footage of that, okay? Now, what makes this even more egregious about the fact of why this father was here trying to buy a car is the fact that he ended up being hit by one of the bullets and he ended up having to have surgery. And while he was having surgery, he lost his job. You talk about adding insult to injury. But this story is actually a bittersweet story, and we got a lot to talk about in a short amount of time. Now, the brave father who was injured while protecting his 3 young children when a gunman opened fire in a New York City car dealership. They opened up a GoFundMe for him, and you guys know how I feel about GoFundMes, but this is one I feel like, you know what, we don't have to scrutinize the GoFundMe, but I do say that you still need to have life insurance, and this is probably a good damn time to get you some life insurance. Okay? But they opened up a GoFundMe, and they raised almost $270,000 in donations, and his children could receive free therapy. How about that? Now, the father, his name is Anthony Jefferson. Let me see if I can find a picture of him, because they didn't have a lot of photos of him. But that's the father right there. That's Anthony Jefferson. And he took a bullet in the thigh when he dove atop of his children to shield them from gunfire that broke out at the On-Road Automotive in the Bronx. He was at the dealership that evening shopping for a vehicle to surprise his wife, which I thought was dope. And her name is Danica Jefferson. And he wanted to surprise his wife for her birthday. Now, I want to point out something to you guys. They are married and their kids are all by the same person, which I think is dope. Now, maybe I don't know that to be a fact. Maybe I'm speaking too quickly. Let's just say I'm just happy to finally see a mother and a father, a black mother and a black father, right? That love each other and care for each other. Now, Jefferson has since lost 2 jobs over his injuries, and all 3 of his children are traumatized from the horrible event, but thousands of Good Samaritans have helped in a very big way. In just a total of 3 days, a GoFundMe created to help cover the mounting medical bills and enroll the children in therapy has skyrocketed. And I think they had a goal of like $20,000 or something. So they got up to about $8,400. And next thing you know, within 72 hours, it got up to $277,855 in total donations. And it's probably still growing. Donations continued to roll in by the minute on Monday morning by way of 50s and $100 bills. The largest donation came in Sunday from an anonymous altruist, from an anonymous person who gave $25,000 to the Jefferson family. Wow. Woo. Other big gifts included a handful of $2,000 and $1,000 contributions. Around 8,100 kind-hearted people have donated and many left encouraging messages. This is every parent's worst nightmare and ultimate sacrifice. This man has brought honor to his family and courage to my heart, one person wrote. My dearest wished that his children recover from this traumatizing experience, and that the fear in their hearts is replaced with the same courageous spirit of their father. It is my honor to provide what little I have for such a courageous hero and his noble actions. Last week, his wife Danica told TMZ that Anthony cannot walk at this moment because he has sustained injuries from the shooting because he got shot in the leg. Subsequently, he had been fired from his jobs as a head painter for a maintenance company and a construction worker for the city. Here's my thing. I could maybe understand how maybe one job maybe didn't quite understand his circumstance and maybe they fired him. But how is it that two jobs and neither one of them were understanding enough to at least give this man some type of grievance, some type of FMLA, some type of something, some time off from work, some sick leave, some sick days, some something. They just, two jobs fired this man? He wasn't doing nothing illegal. He was just at a car dealership and some thugs came in and shot it up. He was a victim in a very unfortunate circumstance. How is it that two jobs fired this man? Who the hell was working in HR? Shit, they need to be fired. But nonetheless, his recovery has begun, but Danica says that Anthony will need to undergo surgery soon because the bullet is still lodged inside of his leg. She added at the time that her children, who are ages 5, 6, and 2 years old, have become distressed over the ordeal. She said that the small children are hesitant to go outside the home and cry in their sleep, and the 2-year-old asked, "Why did the man shoot my daddy?" Now, a therapist has offered to work with the Jeffersons' 3 children through counseling for free, and that's awesome. So shout out to that counselor. Dr. Raha Devera of Big Hearts Interventions told TMZ that she will be willing to work with the children in therapy once a week pro bono. The sessions, done over Zoom video conferencing, could last up to a year or more. TMZ reports that all the Jeffersons have to do is reach out. Terrifying video captured the entire incident that took place around 7:20 p.m. last Monday in the Eastchester neighborhood. Video obtained by DailyMail.com showed that the 39-year-old dad and his children are sitting on that couch. Excuse me. Sitting on that blue couch right there. Inside the used car shop, when a man in a black hoodie ran up and began firing through an open glass door. The dad immediately scooped his kids and dove to the floor, attempting to block them from a barrage of bullets with his body. Seconds later, a door shattered, sending shards of glass flying around the showroom as the family crawled to safety. Anthony was struck in the thigh by one of the bullets, police sources say. He was transported to Jacoby Medical Center and said that he is in stable condition. Several other customers were seen milling around the dealership when the gunshots rang out, sending them running for cover. So, y'all can also see the suspects on tape. The police are searching for 2 suspects, one of whom who carjacked a vehicle immediately after the shooting. The car, a 4-door green sedan, was stopped at a red light just outside when the perpetrator approached, opened the door, and pointed the gun at the 49-year-old driver, ordering him to get out. Investigators believe the shooting is gang-related. Sources told the New York Daily News that the gang member was doing business in the dealership when their rival opened fire on them. The sources said investigators have not determined whether the father of the three was targeted, and I don't think that he was. I just think that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Right place, wrong time. Let me give you guys the fair usage, and let me let you listen to the news videos. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, let me get my videos back up here. Give me just a moment. Yes, I agree. Philly Chica said that some of that money needs to be put up towards life insurance and to hire a private investigator. If nothing else, definitely to get some life insurance for all of those people. The wife, for him, and his 3 kids. Let's keep going.
The father shot while shielding his 3 children from gunfire has reportedly lost his job. The shooting was caught on surveillance video at a car dealership in Eastchester Monday. Police say Anthony Jefferson was shot once in the thigh. And according to a GoFundMe page, Jefferson also lost his job due to this injury. He needed surgery to remove the bullet. Investigators say he was not the intended target and no arrests have been made. Jefferson's children were not physically hurt.
The shooters with zero regard for anyone else's life inside of this car dealership. Unbelievable what this dad had to do in order to protect his own kids, something that...
And I'm gonna warn you guys, if y'all are watching these videos, at some point they're gonna show the shooting. So just know that you've been forewarned. That's your warning, okay? Let's keep going.
No one would think twice about. That man is recovering this morning after being shot in the thigh. Luckily, his kids were not wounded, but clearly traumatized in this entire ordeal that unfolded. Look now at your screen at the blue couch where the family is sitting in the corner of the screen. Now, this happened Monday night inside the used car dealership when bullets...
Matter of fact, can y'all do me a favor? While we got people here supporting this father and supporting all of our stories, we got 887 people here. If y'all would click that thumbs up. We got to our goal of 400 thumbs up, but let's try to get 800 thumbs up. We got enough people here to do it. So if you guys are here to support, just look down for a moment and click that thumbs up like Keyshawn and Miss June Bennett have said in the chat, and Miss Nisi. Just click that thumbs up. Really, really easy to do.
The shooters with zero regard for anyone else's life inside of this car dealership. Unbelievable what this dad had to do in order to protect his own kids, something that no one would think twice about. That man is recovering this morning after being shot in the thigh. Luckily, his kids were not wounded, but clearly traumatized in this entire ordeal that unfolded. Look now at your screen at the blue couch where the family is sitting in the corner of the screen. Now, this happened Monday night inside the used car dealership when bullets suddenly shattered the glass in the waiting area, prompting the Bronx dad to scoop up his kids and hit the floor, covering them with his body as more shots are fired. Police say 3 men opened fire, shooting back and forth, workers also running for cover. You see the second bullet then go by the family. One of the shots hitting the man in the thigh just inches away from his kids. It happened on the On the Road Automotive Group, which is a luxury used car dealer on Boston Road near Connor Street. Happened on Monday at 7:30, but the suspect's terror spree continued outside. According to cops, one man allegedly pointed a gun at a driver at the intersection.
Well, if that ain't some nigga stuff, and while we talking about white supremacy and all of that, come on, man. Y'all tell me, what does Donald Trump have to do with this? What does white supremacy have to do with this? What does defunding the police have to do with this? Huh? This is people that look the same skin color as that man sitting there covering up his kids. People that look just like him, but yet we're so-called worried about our white American citizens and neighbors talking about they're out here hunting us down. Come on, man. Every time we turn around, it's our people that's doing stuff like this to us. Matter of fact, if you look closely, you can actually see where the father gets shot in the leg because his legs stretch out where he gets hit. Watch it right here.
Section and ordered him out of the car before.
Actually, let me back it up so you can see it. I'll show you exactly where he got hit in the leg.
Corner of the screen. This happened Monday night inside the used car dealership when bullets suddenly shattered the glass
up the kids
in the waiting area.
Then there's going to be a bullet that comes across the couch.
prompting the Bronx dad to scoop up his kids and hit the floor, covering them with his body as more shots are fired. Police say 3 men opened.
Boom. Right there. That one comes across the couch, and then watch his legs stretch out. Watch right here.
Shooting back and forth. Workers also running for cover.
Boom. You see his legs stretch out right there?
You see the second bullet.
That's where he got shot in the leg. Now, I'm just going to hope that he was not the intended target, Dad. We're just hoping that you're actually a hero and not an asshole. We're just hoping, okay? Let me get his name up here again. What was the dad's name? Dad's name is Anthony Jefferson. We're just going to hope that he is a husband and a father and a hard worker and just ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. Because I ain't going to lie. Why would they continue to shoot in his direction? I just think that's a little bit odd. I'm just asking a question. So watch it again.
Scoop up his kids and hit the floor, covering.
There's a bullet that goes past their head by the front of that couch. Watch it right here.
Them with his body as more shots are fired. Police say 3.
Boom, right there.
Men.
Y'all see it? At the couch.
Opened fire, shooting back and forth.
One more comes across towards him again from the opposite side. Watch this.
Workers also running for cover.
Boom. And that's when his legs stretch out.
You see the second.
That's when he got hit in the leg. So, either they thought maybe that was one of the other people that they were gunning for, or they could have been gunning for him. Maybe it was just an accident. I don't know. But I just think it looks really strange, though.
Bullet then go by the family. One of the shots hitting the man in the thigh just inches away from his kids. It happened on the On the Road Automotive Group, which is a luxury used car dealer on Boston Road near Connor Street. Happened on Monday at 7:30, but the suspect's terror spree continued outside. According to cops, one man allegedly pointed a gun at a driver at the intersection and ordered him out of the car before making his getaway in that green 4-door vehicle, which had Georgia plates. Police.
Yeah, the dude in the khaki pants was the actual target, I believe.
The motive behind all.
So yes, I agree. Good call on that.
Oh, this was possibly gang related. According to reports, there was a gang member doing business inside the dealership that was targeted here. He ultimately was not shot, and police are still searching for all 3 gunmen this morning. Live in the Eastchester section of the Bronx, I'm Anthony DiLorenzo, Pix 11 News.
I'm thinking like what Lala thinks, and I think that they could have been just shooting at anybody that was in there. That's what I believe. So yes, I believe you're right about that. Here we go. Next video. Let's go.
The dad who's being called a hero around the country for shielding his kids when gunfire erupted in a car dealership.
Yes, we need brain control, not gun control. We need thug control, not gun control.
Here in New York. He says there are heroes out there, but he says he...
At the beginning, they said he was not the intended target. But 2 different directions of bullets started flying towards him. That's all I'm saying. One flew towards his head in this direction, and then another one came from a completely different direction that hit him from the rear. I'm just asking, guys. That's it. Just pointing out stuff that's weird.
The dad who's being called a hero around the country for shielding his kids when gunfire erupted in a car dealership here in New York. He says there are heroes out there, but he says he's not one of them. In this Inside Edition exclusive, he told us he was simply doing what any father would do.
He's the hero dad who shielded his 3 young sons when gunfire broke out at a car dealership. And now he's speaking exclusively to Inside Edition.
What you did was heroic. I just went into fatherly mode at that moment, and I just wanted to keep the kids safe.
The 39-year-old construction worker had come to this car dealership in the Bronx to buy his wife an amazing gift for her birthday, a new car. His 3 sons were with him. Suddenly, as they sat in the lounge, chaos erupted. A man pulled out a gun and started firing. Anthony Jefferson was an innocent bystander when he found himself in the midst of reported gang warfare. All his fatherly instincts kicked in, and he protectively covered his sons with his body.
At one point, I actually see
a bullet go through the top of that couch that you were sitting on.
One bullet struck right where his 6-year-old son was sitting.
It just missed his head. If I wouldn't have grabbed him, it would probably hit his head.
Jefferson was rushed to the hospital with a gunshot to the thigh, but not before he calmly called his wife.
He said, "Sweetheart, come pick the kids up."
When you got to the car dealership, you had no idea there was a shooting.
I had no clue.
Danica is overcome with emotion, thinking how close she came to losing her family.
This is the video that everyone is talking about, what a hero your husband is.
She asked that we not show the boys' faces. Because of his gunshot wound, Jefferson says he has lost his construction job. But his family is thankful, knowing it could have been a lot worse.
Dad, you're a hero. He's my husband. He's my hero every day. The world just actually was able to now see that.
We think he's a hero, too. Anthony still has a bullet in his leg. He'll need surgery to remove it. A GoFundMe page has been set up to help, and it has already raised more than $250,000.
Here's the next video. All right. So here is the video again. So this way, if you guys want to point out something that maybe I missed, here's the video again. Here we go. Now, I do see what y'all were talking about because he ran in that direction trying to get out that other door, which is where that bullet went, which is the one that hit the dad in the leg. So I see what y'all were talking about now. So thank you for that. Man, just nigga shit at its finest, boy. That's crazy.
We begin with the stunning surveillance video of shots fired inside a busy car dealership. A father frantically shielding his 3 young children with his own body.
It is just the latest example of the brazen gun violence across the city. CBS 2's Allie Bauman live in Eastchester in the Bronx right now. Allie.
Well, Maurice and Christine, investigators believe this was a gang-related shooting, but the only known victim was an innocent bystander sitting in the car dealership trying to protect his kids. Surveillance video shows one of 3 gunmen open fire in a car dealership Monday. People inside run, and a customer who was sitting on the couch with his 3 children pushes them to the ground, throwing himself on top of them, using his body to shield his kids from the bullets. Police say this 39-year-old father was hit in the thigh, and the 3 gunmen took off. This happened around 7 p.m. inside the dealership on Boston Road by Connor Street. Police say the 3 masked suspects ambushed the dealership, firing wildly at their intended target who was inside, and then stole a customer's car outside the dealership to escape. The father was treated at Jacobi Hospital and is expected to recover. His 3 children were not injured. Authorities are asking anyone who may recognize those suspects in the video to call police. We're live in the Eastchester section of the Bronx. Allie Bauman, CBS 2 News.
Allie, thank you.
The shooters.
Okay, this is the last video, and then we're going to wrap up.
With zero regard for anyone else's life inside of this car dealership. Unbelievable what this dad had to do in order to protect his own kids, something that no one would think twice about. That man is recovering this morning after being shot in the thigh. Luckily, his kids were not wounded, but clearly traumatized in this entire ordeal that unfolded. Look now at your screen at the blue couch where the family is sitting in the corner of the screen. Now, this happened Monday night inside the used car dealership when bullets suddenly shattered the glass in the waiting area, prompting the Bronx dad to scoop up his kids and hit the floor, covering them with his body as more shots are fired. Police say 3 men opened fire, shooting back and forth, workers also running for cover. You see the second bullet then go by the family. One of the shots hitting the man in the thigh just inches away from his kids. It happened on the On the Road Automotive Group, which is a luxury used car dealer on Boston Road. near Connor Street happened on Monday at 7:30, but the suspect's terror spree continued outside. According to cops, one man allegedly pointed a gun at a driver at the intersection and ordered him out of the car before making his getaway in that green four-door vehicle, which had Georgia plates. Police believe the motive behind all of this was possibly gang-related. According to reports, there was a gang member doing business inside the dealership that was targeted here. He ultimately was not shot, and police are still searching for all three gunmen this morning. Live in the Eastchester section of the Bronx, I'm Anthony DiLorenzo, Pix 11 News.
Well, I'm going to tell you guys this, man. Let's go ahead and wrap up. Just nigga them at its finest. But let me go ahead and close out by saying this. I do believe that the father was an innocent bystander. I'm glad he was there to protect his kids. I think that they need to arrest that dude who they were shooting at until they can get some answers. What do y'all think about that? So the initial target, the dude that they know that was actually so-called in the gang and his op showed up, I think he needs to be arrested too. I think all these thugs need to be arrested. Because you live by the thug and you die by the thug, right? Stupid is as stupid thugs. Those are two of our hashtags. Live by the thug, die by the thug. Also, our other hashtag is... What was my other hashtag? I forgot it already. I done forgot it already. But nonetheless, look, I'm glad that this father had the presence of mind to be able to take his kids, get them down to the floor and protect them and just lay on top of them and just hope and pray that nothing hits them. Right? I'm so thankful that he was able to do that. And then, like I said, I think it's a little bit odd, the fact that not only one job, but two jobs fired him. Like, I'm just like, you just can't be that dumb. As far as, I don't know what HR was thinking, those companies were thinking, by how they could just fire that man like that for two different jobs, especially when you hear about what happened. Hell, it might have actually done them some justice to make sure that they give him all the time off that man needs until he can actually come back to work. But I digress. It seems like this particular unfortunate incident was a blessing in disguise because his father protected his kids with his life, and now the public felt the need to try to take care of his life for doing something positive, right? So that's actually his shoe where one of the bullets went through his freaking shoe. Right there. So I'm glad the fact that the public is actually stepping out and supporting this man when something very messed up happened to him. And that's the GoFundMe right there. They initially had it at a goal of, I think, like $8,000. They moved it to a goal of $24,000, but they almost got like over $250,000. It's a lot of money. And like I said, I hope that they, number one, get life insurance, and number two, like, don't go, spending on nothing frivolous. Make sure you just buy solid things. Maybe move your family out of that area. How about that? Get y'all a plane ticket, move out of that area, move to a place that's safe. Get you some property, get you a house, and y'all live y'all life. But I'm thankful that these kids lived to make it through this story. The dad made it to live. The wife is happy. Everybody's happy except for those thugs and criminals. I hope that they find out who that was that did this. And they need to be arrested. They need to be thrown in jail. And that's just the end of it, right? So, nonetheless, this is your boy DJ Just J, where the AFC will be advocating for children first. From my heart to yours. I love you guys. Thank you guys. You guys have a great night. And we'll see you guys on the next stream, okay? Thank you. Right, there's a lot he could do. He could start a business. There's a lot he could do. But like I said, that money could end up going really, really quick. So I just hope that family spends it really smart. I don't know how I forgot my other hashtag. I said hashtag live by the thug, die by the thug. And it was something else. Stupid is and stupid thugs. That was my other hashtag. Stupid is and stupid thugs. My memory is not worth a crap. But I want to thank you guys so much for coming through. That's the end of our stream. If you guys would, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the AFC. And guess I'm going to get this cough checked out. I've been going to the doctor. I'm okay. I don't know, man. My cough is just kind of one of those things that kind of comes and it kind of goes. So I'm sorry about that. I know it kind of interrupted the videos a little bit, but thank you guys so much. And we'll try to come back as soon as possible. Let me thank again, huge shout out to Mom's Fur Babies. If you're listening, hope you have a blessed night. Thank you so much for supporting. Also, I want to thank Jimmy D. Thank you to Audrey. Thank you to Veronica. If you're listening, to Veronica C. So if you're listening, I want to say thank you very much. Let me also thank Joan. Joan in the PayPal. Thank you very much. I got to give a big shout out to Sharon, Nene or Nini. Is it? Let's see. I think that's Nene. So Nene, if you're listening in PayPal, I want to say thank you very much for your awesome donation. Thank you to my sister Keyshawn J. Thank you also to Katrina, who donated while we were offline in PayPal. And I think we had a few more in Cash App who donated while we were offline, which is Mashika, to Cecilia, to Manya, Lucas, to Diana D, to Dre the Dream. And I think that's everybody. If I missed somebody, also thank you. I had a lady in Venmo. Thank you to our new channel members. If you guys want to do the channel membership, click that dollar symbol in the chat and it should give you an option to join the channel membership. There's Stella. Thank you, Stella. But you guys can join the channel membership so that way that you guys can chat with us before the show starts, after the show ends, and also you guys can chat and find out whenever we're doing, where I can update you guys in the community section, because right now I'm really only updating people who are channel members. And I also try to participate with you guys a little bit more on the emails. So I want to say thank you to Lisa. And thank you to... Oh, shoot. Is it going to show up? Come on. Come on. I don't know if it's going to show up. Let me see if I can get Venmo to show up. Hold on. Hold on. So thank you to Lisa and thank you to Lindsay. Lindsay S is the one that I wanted to make sure and shout her out. Also, thank you to Leah B and thank you to Michelle C who said aloha. And I want to thank all of you guys so much. Thank you to Karen P a few days ago. And thank you to Tasha N. I think that's everybody. Did I get everybody? All right, let me go ahead and alter this chat. You guys have a great night. And again, don't forget to check out our sponsors, which is Nora's Designs. Make sure you guys also check out Bugetto.net as well as KeylineDesigns.com. Y'all have a great night. Peace.
Nora's Authentic Designer has some of the most glamorous and stylish handbags your girl has ever seen. So ladies, if you want to get fly, and fellas, if you want to take care of your lady, please be sure to go to www.noras915.com. www.noras915.com. That's right, www.noras915.com.
Hello listeners, come mask up with Keyline Designs, where you reap what we sow. We offer essential handcrafted face masks made with 100% cotton, equipped with a built-in filter and a slot for refillable filters. Our masks have many uses like riding motorcycles, ATVs, while out in public places, outside exercising, lawn and gardening, and helps prevent the spread of germs. We offer bling, sports logos, monograms, many assorted fabrics and colors. We make child-size masks starting at the age of 2. Come join us today for the launch of our new website at KeylineDesigns.com. Please be sure to like and follow our page on Facebook. Our links can be found in the description box of this video. Thank you.